Hey, this is WhyBeAre with BeamNG.drive, and today we're going to take a look at a mod for that one car I never ever seem to use in my videos. Yes, I am talking about the Moonhawk. And the name of the mod is actually the Improved Moonhawk, so we're going to see if it improves the Moonhawk enough for me to actually want to use it in my videos. Because usually I don't like the Moonhawk because it's kind of slow and bulky. So we're going to see if the mod fixes that, because the mod, although on the outside doesn't look like it changes anything, it changes all the things you can't see, like the suspension, brakes, transmission, and engine. All of those have been tweaked and supposedly improved, so we'll see if that makes me actually want to use the Moonhawk more often. It also has a custom engine sound, which is fairly quiet, so I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and park the car, and I'm going to just rev the engine up, and as long as the car is not moving, you could turn your volume up so you can actually hear it. Once the car starts moving, that's like the 5-second window to turn your volume back down, because then I'll start talking again, and I don't want to blow your guys' eardrums out. Because it seems like every time I try to whisper, I can't whisper. Like, whispering to me is just talking with the sound of whispering with the same yelly voice that I normally use for everything. So it's like, that doesn't work. Alright, so I'll let you guys go ahead and listen to it now. Alright, so hopefully you had a chance to adjust your volume so I don't blow your eardrums out now. Otherwise, rest in peace your eardrums. And so yeah, like I said, it has its own custom sound, but it is, fairly quiet. So now that that is been shown off, I think what we should do is some scientific-y kind of test to compare this to the normal Moonhawk and see if it's any better. Because to me, it feels about as fast as the normal special edition of the Moonhawk. It doesn't feel like it's much faster than that one. And, one thing that's easy to compare scientifically is acceleration and deceleration. That is real easy to compare scientifically. All we need to do is find a flat surface, accelerate hard, and brake hard, and see what the speeds say. And there's actually a thing I never really use often that'll tell you exactly how fast the car accelerates and decelerates. That poor car. Crashing for the car is going to be exactly the same, though. As far as I know, none of that's actually modified or anything. So all we're going to do, though, is we're going to go ahead and add that. I'll show you how to do that real quick. It's nice and simple. Just go to the plus, and you're going to pick performance timers, and we're just going to put it over here, and good to go. Click it once so it's imperial, because this is America. We use miles per hour, not kilometers per hour. What is that nonsense? So for this test, nice and simple. We're going to just slam on the gas, and I'm not going to do anything but that. I'll let the transmission, any sort of traction control it may have, I don't think they have anything like that, do all the work to make the speed get what it is. So boom, right there, we got a time for 60 miles per hour. And then for deceleration, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the car up to 100 miles per hour. Yes, that is a lot, I know. But the thing is, when you have a higher speed, it helps to show the difference between the braking more easily. So actually, you know what? Let's go up to 110. What I do is I let go of the... What I'm going to do actually is the way I'm going to do it is I let go of the accelerator. You see how it drops like this? You got to be going higher than it actually is, because the speedometer is not exactly accurate. So let's go 120. When I let go, it should read 110-ish. All right, good. Once it reaches 110, slam on the brakes. Just like that, slam on the brakes. And hopefully, if everything goes according to plan, we should get a number here too. There we go. Now the speed the deceleration one, it's not that important, the time, because the car kind of rolled at the end, if you notice that. The more important thing is the distance. So now we're going to do the exact same test using the normal Moonhawk. And I know the speed we decelerated from is 112. As long as it's consistent between the two cars, doesn't matter. So I think the best and fastest version of the Moonhawk is the V8 Special. So that is the one we will use for the comparison. So, well, let's see, what does this one have? This one has a manual and automatic. Okay, I just need to know that for something in the future. So acceleration, let's go. I think, like I said, it should be about the same for acceleration, because it doesn't feel much faster. Oh, look at that. In fact, the normal Moonhawk outdid it. Now, I think if we went to a higher speed, on the other hand, the other one would be faster just because it has more gears. This one only has 4 gears, so I think it should be okay to get up to the speed we want, but just barely. Like, it's going to barely get high enough of a speed that we wanted, but it should make it. Okay. 110, slam on the brakes. Alright, good. So let's see. Interesting. Wow. So the improved Moonhawk was slower in deceleration and acceleration in both distance and time. Did not see that coming. And I don't know what the game is doing right now. It's like freaking out. You see everything's all jittery. I don't know what causes that. It's just weird. Now it's fine, see? Crazy. It's just this area for some reason. It goes crazy. So that's interesting. Yeah, that's the special. The special I'm pretty sure is the fastest one. If we brought it down to the sport, would it be any closer? I think the sport's slower, so we'll try it with the sport too. The sport might only actually have 2 gears now, or 3 gears now that I think about it. I don't know. But it doesn't have a manual option, so we don't see how many gears it has. Okay, so yeah, this one's definitely slower on the acceleration. And we'll do the deceleration as well and see if it's also slower. Because that is interesting, you know, it's improved, yet it's worse. Huh. That's not necessarily to say it's less fun to drive. It might be one of those fun to drive things, like, you know, this car has more fun factor. But in terms of actual performance, it's not looking good for the improved Moonhawk. And so we got it up to about 105. I don't know how fast this thing's gonna go. It seems like it's about topping out right about here. So we're gonna go ahead and just slam on the brakes from here. Whoops, my finger slipped. Alright, the normal one. From a slower speed, but not by much, it is still significantly better. Weird! I did not see this coming. I figured the improved would be better. Now, that's weird. Okay, how about this? I'm pretty sure we could equip the old brakes onto this one. So how about this? We're going to do the test again with a similar thing. What we're going to do is we're going to use the old brake setup, so the old brakes. So instead of improved, we just use the normal one. And the normal ones, well, junker, just normal rear drum brake. Now the time we have to beat for the deceleration is that one, the 112. So we're going to see if we beat that. See, this is weird. I didn't expect this. I figured it'd be nice, clean, and simple. The improved one has better this and that, but it doesn't. So the question is it the brakes themselves that are worse, or is it the suspension, the way it I don't know. We're going to figure this out, though. If we have the other brakes on and do the exact same thing, does it decelerate slower or faster? We'll figure it out. Science, man. We're going to figure this thing out. All right, so 120-ish. And brakes. So this is the not improved brakes. They braked in 149. So the improved brakes are actually worse. Huh. What about the junker brakes? How do those ones compare? Like, did they get mislabeled maybe? I am so confused here. I'm like, what? You know, I am confused. WhyBeAre is very confused. You notice that 0 to 60 time was terrible because I'm trying to shift this thing in manual mode. It's like, WhyBeAre, you don't know how to shift. I know. Just like, yeah, I'm gonna shift now, okay? It's like, that's bad shift timing. I'm sorry. Alright, so here we go. 115, 117, and brakes. Okay, junker brakes or junk. I think, yep, they're gonna be junk. We're not even slowing down yet. Okay, junker brakes are definitely worse. Okay, yeah. How bad are they? 288. So they're about as double the well, not quite double, but they are significantly worse than normal brakes. The most interesting thing to note, I couldn't talk right there. Did you see that? You hear that? I mean, normal brakes were faster than the improved brakes. Yeah, that's weird. I mean, it might have something to do with, like, maybe they grab harder, but since there's no ABS, the wheels just skid. And I'm not, trying to act like it's a human ABS, because to me, my old car, my RX-7, it didn't have ABS, but that was one of those things where you feel it in the car itself, when the brakes are locking up. You can't really do that here. So that's just interesting to note. I mean, I almost want to do the test again. I'm going to do the test one more time off camera to make sure that's true, because that just seems so backwards. I want to be 100% certain that I did that test right. So I'm going to make sure these are both the improved brakes, and I'm going to do it off camera again just to make sure, okay? So I'll be right back. Well, I kept trying to do that same test, and it wasn't going well, because if I let up the brakes to about this much, and by this much I mean look at this red bar right here, it thinks, oh, you're not braking anymore. Let me reset the meters, and it doesn't work out well. So I eventually got it to work, but the distance was horrible. I don't work good as an ABS system unless I could actually feel the car. I mean, it's just, going off the square marks doesn't work. You need to actually be able to feel the car and say, oh, we're locking up here, and be able to fix that. So my conclusion so far is it's actually worse, and that's interesting. Now, the next thing we're going to test is suspension. We're going to do 2 tests for this, one of which more scientific, and the other one's kind of based off of feel. What we're going to do first scientifically is just go over these bumps and see how everything looks, Just look at it and compare it. So this is the modified version that's supposed to be improved, and we're going over it at about 30 miles per hour or so, I believe. And we'll try to do the same for the other car. And you see, this is not going well at all. Oh my goodness. Alright, let's give it the benefit of the doubt and say the other one will hopefully do the same thing. And okay. Let's try going on the left side. Maybe that's just the right side's too severe for this car and we need to go on the left side. So again, about 30 miles per hour or so. Kind of missed it at the start, but that's okay. Alright, it looks fine through here at 30. Like, no real issues at all. Nice and smooth through here at 30. So the question is, what about the other car? Will it be the same, or will it be smooth too? We'll figure it out. So let's get the normal version out. We'll use a sport, because I think that's the about equivalent to this one in terms of suspension. And let's see, does this one do any better? Gonna try again, about 30 miles per hour. Going through here. Might have a little bit more of the suspension travel, but it doesn't necessarily look that much different. It looks about the same, really. Alright, let's try it just for the heck of it. Let's try going through the steep part as well at about 30. See how this one does. And this one's getting busted up too. So either way, the car's gonna get busted up if you go through this part fast. So that's so far seems about equal. That's the unfortunate part. Now, question is, what if we go to a racetrack? So to test this now, we're gonna go to there's a racetrack in BeamNG.drive. Forget the name of it. I'll find it I'll know it when I see it. No, that's not it. That's not it. No. Wait. I passed it up. There it is, right there. Industrial site. We're going to go there and just drive around that and see how they feel. And that's just me saying, oh, I like this one better, really. And hopefully this is where the Moonhawk will shine. The improved Moonhawk? We'll see. Okay, so far, things have not looked good for the improved Moonhawk. I'm hoping here this will be its time to shine. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping it'll be amazing here, because of the suspension's made for a racetrack and not like those little tests, and everything about it is just, maybe it'll feel better on a racetrack. So let's see what happens, huh? Alright, first let's see. Coming into a corner and churning. Okay, it definitely feels like it wants to oversteer. And that, to me, usually is a good thing, because it's usually easier to control oversteer than understeer. Understeer, it's like, I'm going to die. Oversteer, it's like, I got this, It's just, generally, oversteer makes you oversteer, you don't fear for your life. Understeer is like, I'm screwed, I'm gonna die. At least that's the way I feel about things. So going through this racetrack, I don't know how fast we're going. There's no real easy way I know if to time it aside from going in the video and checking it. And I'm not pushing the car 100% either on this first lap. So what I'll do is I'll push it all the way on this lap and then I'll check how fast it was in post. But I think one of my tires is acting up, but oh well. Screw it, we'll just run with it. Trying to push a car to its limits even though we've only been driving it for 5 minutes. That's the WhyBeAre way! Actually, I've been driving it more than just what you've seen on camera, but still. I haven't been actually taking it to a track much. Get on the road! Go, go, go! I don't know if this is going to be fast. It looks like it's, so far it's really easy to control though. The way it oversteers and stuff is, it's really predictable at least. I'll say that. It's real easy to drive. Like I'm not spinning out at all even though I'm trying to push this thing pretty hard for what kind of big old barge that it is. It's like it's saying, okay, I'll hold up for you. Oh, no, that's not the car's fault. And there's a finish. Alright. So I like the way it felt. I'll say that for sure. It did feel good on the track. Question is, will the normal one feel good too? Or the special, I should say, feel good too? We'll know soon enough. Let's make this one orangey yellow. Probably, yeah, just yellow, whatever. Alright, okay. How's this one feeling? Alright, so this one definitely doesn't want to oversteer as much, it feels like. Well, wait. Yeah, I think it doesn't want to, it feels like it doesn't want to churn as much. Okay, yeah, I will say the other one, I like the way it drives better. It may not be faster, but it does feel nicer to drive. So between the two, if I had to choose one, even though the statistics were worse, I might say the improved one just because this one doesn't feel like it drives as good. Like, I think you might be able to push this one around the track faster, honestly. But the way the other one drives, it just feels easier. Like this, well, you know what? I don't know. I mean, it depends what I'm doing. I mean, I can really see it going either way. Like this one, you see, I did not mean to go through the dirt there. It just sort of happened. With the other one, I never really spun out. So, I guess the other one's a bit easier to control. Is it faster or not? It's really hard to make a conclusion just based off of a couple laps. And you could say maybe, maybe not. Depends on the driver, depends on the driving style. But if I had to choose one or the other for just driving around a racetrack, yeah, I'd say the other one. I would say the improved one is actually at least improved on the suspension. The engine and brakes, well, I don't know what's up with them. They don't seem to exactly be improved at the moment. Suspension, on the other hand, I like that better. It's just, this one, it doesn't feel like it's smooth through the corners. It kind of, I don't know, it's hard to explain. The other one feels smooth through the corners where you're going to come out of it and you're going to know exactly what's going to happen. This one, it feels rougher through the corners, like its movements are not as predictable. Where the other one, you can fairly easily predict what it's going to do and control it. This one, it's not as forgiving. Is it faster? Maybe. Is it easy to drive? No. Is this enjoyable? Nah. So let's do one more lap with the improved version, and that will be the end of the video. Go ahead and finish it up. Alright, let's get color on this thing. Green Moonhawk. Why not? Make sure what I'm saying still holds up after I drove the other one. Yeah, like, look at this thing. I'm just able to slide it the whole way. Like, oh, don't worry about this, dude. I got this. It's more predictable in the way it handles to me. And, you know, that also, like I said, depends on driving style. For you, you might hate this. I don't know. For me, I like it. The other things, the brakes and the engine, I don't know about them. I mean, they might, in a way, help the way the car drives overall. So you can't take it at number value. That's the thing. You might say, oh, yeah, it's technically worse. But that could be the reason why I like the way it drives better. I don't know. It's weird like that, you know? Numbers don't tell the full story. So after all that, I can definitely say I like the way this one drives better. Can it do donuts better? That's the next question. The last question. Which can do better donuts? Because that is really the most important question, isn't it? So that's what this one looks like, doing a donut. Oh, what is this? Did you call that a donut, man? What is that garbage? Get that out of here. That last thing was not a donut. There was no skid marks at all. All right, let's see the other one. Can you do a donut? Good donut. A good donut, I should specify. Which one's better? So unscientific. I don't care though. Which one's better at donuts? Oh, I can't tell. It keeps hitting the it keeps hitting the dirt. There we go. The other one's better at donuts, therefore it easily wins. I don't. That one doesn't seem like it wants to do donuts as much. That is the end of the unscientific donut test, which proves that green car, or the improved version, is superior for donuts and driving on a track. As for drag racing and brake racing, not so much. So until next time, this is WhyBeAre. I'll see ya.